All right, Nick, let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. I think there is starting to be a lot of movement when it comes to the future of this Chiefs roster. And when you look at what they're doing, the Kansas City Chiefs are doing what they have always done, making really smart moves. And I think we have a lot of stuff to go over today. But before we get into that, I'm Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, guys, I alluded to some really smart roster moves going on for the Chiefs, but I think there's deeper implications on what those moves mean as well. Let's get into the main one, and then we're going to talk about everything going on the other side. This, of course, from over on Athlon Sports. It says, on Thursday, Veach and the Chiefs made a major move on the offensive line. According to NFL insider Ian Rappaport, the team is planning to use a franchise tag on star guard Trey Smith. Says the Chiefs are planning to franchise tag star guard Trey Smith, sources say. Rappaport wrote, an intriguing move as Kansas City keeps one of the best players for $23.4 million on a one-year fully guaranteed deal. While the franchise tag secures him for just one more year, Rappaport also noted the Chiefs hope to do a long-term deal with Trey Smith, and those discussions will continue. I think this is great progress for the Chiefs. Smith's a great player, and they got him locked down for at least one more year. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this one, Nick, but before we get to you, Chiefs fans, in the comment section below, let us know your thoughts on this roster. When it's all said and done, are there any tough cuts that the Chiefs are going to have to make? We're going to see all of these players coming back. There's a lot of guys getting franchise tag, a lot of guys deciding to come back. Kelsey's reportedly coming back as well. Can they keep all these guys? Do you think there's a tough cut that we don't see coming? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. But nonetheless, Nick, what do you think about this latest for the Chiefs?
No one should be surprised because the Chiefs have literally done this before, right? If you turn back the clock, let's change the situation a little bit in terms of the particulars, but focus on the high level. A few weeks removed from the Super Bowl, a star player on the Kansas City Chiefs is looking for a long-term deal. The Chiefs don't seem interested potentially in giving him a mega deal, so they put the franchise tag on him while other teams are trying to vie for this player's interest, and eventually they trade that player and get a decent haul in return. I'm talking, of course, about L'Jarius Sneed. We've seen this movie before. This is what the Chiefs do. This is what Brett Veach does. There is a big demand for Trey Smith. There's a big demand for guards right now throughout the entire NFL offseason. It's kind of one of these weird anomalies where it's a high position in demand. Some people are hoping former Dallas Cowboys Zach Martin would become available. He retired. Jonah Jackson for the Rams is really the only other big name marquee guy that's currently out there. He's got an expensive deal. Trey Smith would just be a free agent. So you better believe there was nothing but demand across the board for Smith for any team that needed a guard, whether it was the Raiders, the Patriots, the Chicago Bears, and about half a dozen other teams. They were all in on giving Trey Smith a mega deal, a huge deal. Here, what the Chiefs have done have essentially taken the leverage between Trey Smith and the teams, right? And they've shifted it fully in their favor because now every single team has to negotiate with the Kansas City Chiefs. Trey Smith and his agent is done, right? If they had just gone and let it go to the free agency market, Trey Smith and his agent could have gone to the Bears and gotten the quote, gone to the Chiefs and gotten the quote, gone to the Patriots and gotten the quote, and like would have put them against each other in a bidding war. Now that's all over. The teams have to deal directly with the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs know how to make these kind of deals. They did it with L'Jarius Sneed. They're setting up a big trade, in my opinion. Now, look, if they get Trey Smith to stay on a team-friendly deal, like they probably would have done with L'Jarius Sneed, they'll take it. But I think Smith understands he's going to get the biggest contract for any guard in NFL history. He's going to get some team to overreach and give him $26, $27 million a year, right? There's a huge market for Smith right now. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are repeating what they did with Sneed. There was all this demand built up for Smith, like there was with L'Jarius Sneed. Now the Chiefs have pulled that player away, but that demand is still there, and now all that demand has to negotiate directly through Brett Veach's cell phone. They're setting up a big trade here, just like they did with L'Jarius Sneed. But honestly, in my opinion, I think Smith is a better player at a more valuable position, just how things worked out this offseason in terms of scarcity. I think the Chiefs are going to get a really good haul for Trey Smith over the next few weeks.
Yeah, Nick, I think this is a smart move by the Chiefs. Like you say, they control the cards now. If they want to keep Smith, they can. If they don't, they can trade him. But like you said, all avenues go through the Chiefs now. They're in the driver's seat. So I think no matter how it plays out, it was a really smart move to control the situation for the Chiefs. Because, like you said, for some crazy reason, usually interior offensive lineman is not like a premium, but right now it's a very hot market. There's a lot of demand for guys like this. A lot of contenders are looking for players and they're willing to overpay. We've seen what happened to the latest salary cap numbers. People are getting unknown boosts, things they would never imagine they would have got. People have got some money to throw around. Teams that probably didn't usually expect to have that kind of cash, they now do. So I think this was a great move by the Chiefs to just create scarcity in the market and drive the price up. We talk about scarcity, kind of like what big companies do. You look De Beers with diamonds. You look at Rolex with watches. People, they create this artificial scarcity, drives the price up. You want to try to buy a Rolex in the store, it's $10,000. Can't find one. You got to go to that secondary market and negotiate with someone. It's going to be double, triple what the retail price is going to be. Smith, he's only probably the best guy out there, regardless of contract. I think he's one of the hottest up and coming players at that position. The Chiefs lock him down. Now there's scarcity on the market. If you want the real deal, you got to pay the Chiefs and you got to give them a great draft haul for it as well. So I think this is a really smart move by the Chiefs, creating some scarcity in the market and giving themselves all the power to decide what they want to do with Smith. Good job by Brett Veach and the Chiefs. It's really not surprising at this point. It's kind of what we expect. The Chiefs make another really smart move here.
Just one final point to end on, just as a technical detail. A lot of people say, well, he's locked up in a franchise tag. Doesn't that mean he's just tied with the Chiefs? No, not necessarily. The franchise tag can go away at any moment. Most of the time that happens when a team finally decides to extend that player to a long-term deal. But like we saw with the Chiefs with L'Jarius Sneed, you can take that franchise tag off and then trade the player. And that's what the Chiefs are setting up here. Again, this is not we want to give ourselves more time to negotiate. They had the entire season, and even before that, to be honest, to negotiate with Trey Smith. It's exactly what you brought up, Miles. They created that demand. There's that scarcity now that's out there. They pulled it away. Now they're the secondary market. Teams have to go to Brett Veach. They have to go to the Chiefs for Trey Smith, and they'll be able to get a massive haul because of it. Again, masterclass move by Kansas City.